Everybody needs a home. For me, home is a place where I can be with myself, a place I can depend on, a place where I feel safe and loved. In this sense, Lebanon is not home, and that's a problem. Home is a place where you spent a majority of your time. I spent my whole life in Lebanon, yet I feel like it's become less and less like a home and more like a hotel. A temporary settling place with no personal surrounding. My bag packed, ready to leave at a moment's notice.
We are 8 teenagers coming from different backgrounds, from different religions, and we are here to say what we have always been afraid to say.
Dear Lebanon, if you don't listen to us, we will be forced to leave, just like so many have done before us. Anyone who's ever left couldn't see a future in this country anymore, and they couldn't find what they were looking for: opportunities, unity, and peace.
But we love this place. We call it home. We don't want to give it up. We want to change.
I want a country where police officers don't ignore a crime after they get paid $50.
I want a country where everyone is heard, not just the ones who have money.
I want to be able to thrive in my country rather than have to go somewhere else.
I want to go inside a cab without being questioned about my background or religion.
I want a country where I can go out of the home as a whole piece and come back as a whole piece.
I want a country where I can live in peace.
I want freedom fighters, not gangsters.
I want a country where I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
It's hard to think that a country as beautiful as Lebanon could destroy itself. Haven't we learned from the past? So many people are living in a state of fear. While we were working on this movie, 7 bombings happened. Innocent people die every week. And I really don't see how killing our own people is a logical thing to do, you know? I mean, I don't think religious and political differences should be a factor in deciding who lives and who doesn't. We just need to open up our eyes and realize that the violence has to stop.
Because of the situation in this country, so we had to take some security measures at school. It's forbidden to bring bags. We should either carry our books or put them in a transparent bag. We were shocked because we didn't expect that the country would be this bad in this situation. It is too much and pressure that they're having. And we're holding the books and coming to school and خلاص يعني we've had enough.
I think that staying at home would be the best, or your friends come over or you go to your friend's house. Because you can order food and you can watch a movie. I mean, you don't have to go to a public place to have fun. I don't really feel safe anymore going out with my friends at any given time of the week. Like there's young people dying now, innocent bystanders that are victims to bombs who are targeting politicians. And you could be walking or having fun with your friends, and all of a sudden a bomb erupts and your life ends. So basically, like, the possibility that could happen to me is really scary, and I'm starting to be a lot more careful. The bombs, some of them have happened near my house, and some of them are happening in some of the most safe areas, and they're finding bombs in like the Corniche and in Hamra.
They found a bomb next to my house a few days ago.
And that's where we hang out. So how could you feel safe when you could get killed at any Friday night when you're going out with your friends?
And I'm always vigilant whenever I'm walking, looking for cars and thinking which one is gonna explode next. You know?
have this joke, me and my sister, like every time I check that everyone's okay and that they're okay, and then at the end when I have to go back to class, I'm like, I'm glad you're alive, and then she says, I'm glad you're alive, and it's like sort of, you know, it's sarcastically talking about the situation, because you can't, if you take it seriously, it's just gonna make you very depressed. But if you try to laugh about it, and I think a lot of Lebanese people try to laugh about it.
There has been so many explosions that they actually made an application for it. It's called I'm Alive, where you can connect through Facebook or Twitter and tell your friends that you're still alive. And you can even check if your friends are still alive too, which is, it's the only app in the whole world, you know. You
We're
can't
the
find
only
such
people
apps.
who need it.
It's true. It's ironic and sad at the same time.
You hear about a bomb and you say, oh, like, just it's another one. So we
That's
don't
very-
really care about it
And
anymore.
that's very dangerous when people like don't care anymore, because it's kind of like to show that people don't have hope of changing that anymore.
They
and
just
I
kind of
think-
accept it.
Yeah, and I think with every bomb, people lose more hope of improving Lebanon.
When an explosion happens, I feel like I want to go to the street and see a revolution happening, you know? Like, I want to see the youth going and screaming, oh, we don't want this anymore. I sometimes like think about putting the whole parliament on fire, you know, to burn everything, every politician, to tell them that we want to live. I don't want us to get used to it.
Well, this is the place, this is exactly the place where the last picture of these four guys was taken, because one of them died in an explosion that happened here, and they were just regular guys from my school who were just innocently hanging here, and they had nothing to do with politics or religion or fights, and one of them died because of politics. It was so surreal to have someone you know and you see every day just not exist anymore, because someone decided that this politician has to die now. When I found out about the explosion, I was shocked, because at first I thought that people were joking or something, because we never think that people we know could die in an explosion, and you never think that, you know, people you see every day at school can be affected by something you don't really think about as personally. You know, you think of explosions, and then you think of the people you know as safe and guarded, and this explosion really showed that that's not true, and that it could kill anyone. After this bomb happened, like 4 days later, another bomb happened in Dahi, and when that bomb happened, I started thinking, like, I think the first death toll was 4 people, I think, and when I heard that 4 people, I started imagining 4 families and 4 circles of friends and 4 human beings that are just like me dying, and they don't exist anymore, and all their dreams and all the achievements and all the things they wanted to do, they can't do them anymore. And it was very shocking to see how the difference in how I thought. Like before the explosion, I would just, you know, take it sort of casually, which is wrong, I realize, but not very casually, but in a way that, yeah, it's normal, it's a thing that happens every day. But then you start realizing that it's not supposed to happen every day, and it's not normal for it to happen every day. And a lot of young people in my school, almost all of them who knew Muhammad, started rebelling against the idea, and that we're not gonna take this anymore, and we're gonna do something.
Chained to my heart with a path so dark. A bomb is how a year starts. Heaven's guard took Muhammad Shah. We lost the teen and gained an angel, lost the dream and the nation. Deep inside you are immortal, an angel among mortals. More political propagandas led to death, hidden agendas to kill the rest. Murdering civilians is normal, I suggest. You wanna pull the trigger, be my guest. You ripped the heart from the chest and placed it in the house of death. Yet the child you took is the reason we'll unify. Rise above sectarianism, both you and I. Symbolize peace and plant the seed in mankind. Dear God, you wanted heaven to be a better place, so you took Muhammad to your space, and we accepted our fate, so have faith.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I didn't even know the guy, but he was 16, and he wasn't supposed to die, man. Seriously, that's my country? I doubt so. I don't want this. So, as I held the pen, writing, like, down the lyrics to the song, I was like, it's like I'm talking to a story that really affected me. And you can relate to the subject because I'm a teen myself, so it could happen to me. I would have been there, I would have been dead. And who would care? So basically, this is the studio. We're gonna perform a song about the politics in Lebanon and the society overall. Absat will do the Arabic verse and I will do the English verse. Okay, beat please.
I found myself in hip-hop. I found like I can express who I am. I can show the people who I am. I can share my thoughts, my beliefs and everything.
So hip-hop reflects the life of politics in a way that is smooth somehow, you know, to the ear. Like in a way that shows you, oh, so that's what's happening in Lebanon, this is the politics, but in a musical way.
We're singing for a goal, we're trying to make a change.
بتجول بضواحي المدينة عم فتش ع آثار بلاقي عيال بشردة حزينة حاملة أخبار وأسرار عم يطمحوا بزيرو طهير مثل مراد على مدار همهم الوحيد إنه يحسنوا معيشة أهل الدار.
I believe that the term politics in Lebanon is directly linked to lies. Politicians promise the people a lot, but they give them nothing but fake hopes. Our so-called leaders aren't leaders, because no true leader whatsoever would want his country to turn into hell on earth.
اللي بيفكر بيندعس تحت الإجرام فالمكان الوحيد المنصف هو الجنة. طب كيف بيقول لبنان جنة البلدان وعنا الحالات معممة وين ما كان المصاري بتحكي من هيك ما بيحكي الفقير أو بيحكي وما بينسمع كونهم كلهم فريق حك فائد للوعي لا واعي عم يتحكم بيعمل حاله دكتور هو ضروري يتحكم بيتخانقوا على الشاشة تحت الطاولة مسكين الإيد ورجال الأديان بس بيطلعوا بيحكوا عن العيب.
Some say politics must go on like this for the stability of the country. But how stupid is it to believe that there is no alternative at all to this corrupt system? The problem about politics here is that it only serves the needs of the politicians and not the people. Democracy only exists as a word and hardly as an action. You become someone because you belong to a certain sect, party, or family, and not because you have the skills to lead a country. And then there is the media, a brainwashing machine. It's like the match that ignites the fire. It shows you lies that you believe is truth. This breaks the society to pieces. Each politician has a channel of his own that he uses to show his good sides and the bad sides of the other teams. This leads to nothing but chaos. You may say I am politically indifferent, but that is for a reason.
There are so many sects in Lebanon. I think there's around 19 or 18, I think.
Yeah, I guess 19.
I can only name like three
or four.
Like there's Shia,
Yeah.
Sunni.
Yeah.
That's all I know. You can see the religious influence in everything you do. You can see it in when you go for a job. The person might not really like your religion. You can see it with who your parents want you to hang out with. No one's really born like thinking, oh, I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna fall in love, or there's no way I'm gonna date someone who's not from my political or my religious views. It's just the influence that's put on them from the older generation.
For instance, I dated someone from other religion. We stayed like 8 months together, and then my mom told me that if you are planning to continue with this person, delete this idea from your mind because he's from another religion. Moarne, Orthodox, Catholic.
You're kind of proud of it. It's like I'm from this sect, so like I'm special. I'm the correct one, so yeah, I should be proud of it. It's like all of them are the correct ones, so I guess we're all correct.
Yeah.
No one's wrong.
Guys, لا ويكيبيديا فوت على ويكيبيديا.
Druze, is that?
فوت على ويكيبيديا على التليفون على السريع حطوا 18 seconds in Lebanon.
19.
18.
Sunni, Shia, Greek Orthodox, Maronite, Alawiti, Armenian Catholic, Armenian Orthodox,
Me.
Yeah, we forgot about the Armenians.
Jewish, Druze, Syria Catholic.
I'm a Muslim. I'm not that religious. I'm kind of moderate. I believe whatever I believe in, what is reasonable. When I meet people from other religions, I don't really care about the religion thingy or sects or anything. I just think of people as people.
So there's like probably
Sunni,
500.
Shia, Druze, Catholic, Maronite, Orthodox, Armenian, Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, Latin.
I'm not religious at all, and I was raised in both my parents are my mom's Christian, my dad's Muslim, and they're also religious. I have several best friends and that are really religious, and that's not really an issue. We always hang out and we talk, and that never comes up in any of our conversations.
Everybody talks about religions and do a fuss about it. It's not worth all the fuss. We should be calm about it and keep the religion for ourselves and not in public.
Religion is what formed me, and was my guide towards being a better person. Islam doesn't teach us how to make bombs. It actually teaches us how to love. We should have a secular system here, especially in Lebanon, so that we don't look at each other from a religious perspective.
If I could make a new country, a new Lebanon, I would make it a country with no religion and no politics, a country where there's diversity and equality. Like people when they're gonna help each other, they don't ask which sect they are or which religion, they just help. I wanted to join like the Scouts, but that the Scouts belonged to a church, but it was because it was in a certain area. My dad knows that area is for a certain sect, so that's the reason why he didn't let me join the Scouts, because of the sect. Like they're so into politics and stuff. We wouldn't say that to our kid, like, no, don't go to the Scouts because it's a certain sect. No, we wouldn't care about it. Politics and religion, they caused many problems and many wars. And if there wasn't that, there wouldn't have been wars and stuff.
I have no idea what you're saying.
It's Miss Team USA's exception. I believe that all the politicians in Lebanon will never do anything productive or good for Lebanon. And because of that, I don't see a reason for supporting someone who's not going to do anything good or bring about a positive change in Lebanese society.
I think what mostly in the end they're doing is destroying the country because they're fighting against each other, and they don't understand that we're not like separate groups. We're all one country. The older generation isn't really looking out for their children, which are the future. They're not really caring about what the effects that happen whenever there's a bomb, and they're killing their youths, and they don't understand that the youths are the future of the country, and by doing this they're encouraging us to leave.
They see us as people who aren't mature enough to understand this or that, and they think they just tell us that they know best and we shouldn't interfere with politics because we're too young. Well, I don't think that the adults do see the future of this country in us, and I don't think that we see the future of this country in ourselves. So I don't think that, it's kind of hard for this country to have a future.
I see a dead end to Lebanon's future. We have tried to speak up and nobody listened to us. No one cared about us. The best solution would be to leave the country, find another place to call home. And hopefully, one day, the governors will notice that without us, Lebanon will die and will lose all its power because we are its power. But we are not alone. Not only teenagers claim a better Lebanon. So we met two guys that are a kind of role models for us. We wanted to know what they think about the situation in our country, and we wanted some advice for the change we are longing for.
You resigned as a minister because you recognized that the Lebanese politics cannot be changed, perhaps. Why is it so hard to change the country's politics?
We have a huge issue with the system. Our political system, our constitutional system, it is not working. Honestly, it is not working. I am one of those who were sitting at the Council of Ministers meeting, and I felt to what extent sometimes you are weakened just because you don't belong to a political group.
I've seen what you're talking about at the university level, where in the elections, the people with no one, like me, for example, they were not like, they were attacked by the other parties because they did not want to vote, they did not want to participate as, one of the parties. It's too bad to see this even at...
Omar, let me, if I may, tell you that you're not no one. I mean, you don't belong to a structure, you don't belong to a political group. And therefore you feel that you don't belong anywhere and that you don't exist. If all those who think like you do are able to gather in a structure, they will be stronger. And that's what is lacking. We don't have structure, any structure, to absorb those who are like you, Omar. They feel that they don't belong here or there.
What would you tell me, for example, if I say that I'm planning to immigrate?
I wouldn't. I'll tell you why. Because I believe in freedom of choice. Many Lebanese people would like to go abroad to study. And studying abroad is an excellent experience. I really get worried when I feel that people, and especially young people, are leaving the country not because they cannot find a job here, not because they cannot study here, but mostly because they don't feel that they belong here anymore, in their mind, in their culture, in the way they see things. And that's what we need to address. That's what we need to change, because this is what really worries me.
Do you think when our generation grows up and will be able and provides good leaders, will it be able to change this country?
If you keep addressing the issues the same way we and the elders addressed, no change will happen. Because we're, in a way, dealing with everything in a traditional manner. And what you need is a shock. You need to make things different, to do things differently. You need to take them somewhere where they are not, where it's not their field. Take them to alternatives. Take them to challenge them somewhere where they don't feel comfortable. I think that young people should start by saying no. You know, when you say no, this is a good thing to start with. When you start saying, I don't agree, when you start saying, this is not how I see it, this should be the first step. The second step would be, that's not how I see it, but that's how I see it. I mean, to propose an alternative. Because young people are able to propose alternatives.
When a friend of mine in school died in a bomb, Mohammed Shahar, I think you've heard of him.
Of course.
Yeah. We had all this anger and all this. We felt like we had potential to make a change, but we didn't really know what to do. And what do you think? What do you advise youth to do in cases where they feel like they want to make a change and they feel like they can, but they don't know specifically what to do?
Rida, I followed closely what you did from Mohammed Shahar. and I think that you did very well. Don't blame yourself for not doing because you did the utmost. I don't think you could have done better. Now, what is missing is the following. What did the country do for Muhammad Sha'ar? What would the country do for others who are paying the price of bad policies and of the fact that we have a failed state in a way? That's the question. I cannot understand sometimes how people accept to be ruled by people they don't trust.
Speaking of the young, a great person once said, "Who he bets on the young doesn't lose." What do you think of this quote and why?
Well, I think that you should give me the address of the betting house to because I'm on.
So, we're going to Nimr Abu Nassar right now. And we chose like Nimr because he has a good attitude, a perfect mentality, like he knows how to approach problems in a very funny yet wise way, and everyone loves him.
Why did you establish your brand of comedy under the creed, no politics, no religion, one love? What was the purpose?
I figured that if I do a comedy scene where there is none of the divisions, and there's just talking about everything we have in common, which is society, money problems, relationship problems, driving problems, everyday stuff, the stuff that matters, then I felt I could fill up more people in a room and remind them what they have in common. Because if you're Muslim, you're Christian, I'm just saying, I don't know what you are, but let's say you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're Jewish, whatever, and you guys are sitting together and I say a joke and all three of you laugh, guess what? It turns out you guys have that in common. What I do address, and I have addressed in my shows, on the radio, everything, is I say, any political person in the country, fuck you. I've said that. But I do say one thing, I say, I'm not saying they're all bad. Some of them have good intentions. Who I think has good intentions, also a private matter. But some people believe other people have, who am I to judge who's wrong or right? In my opinion, some people have good intentions. But even those people, fuck you. Because you've joined a system that is part of the destruction of our country. And if you're going to be in that system, you can't change the system. That's the rule of life. You know that saying, don't hate the player, hate the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you want to change the game, you don't join it. If you want to play basketball, you play basketball. If you want basketball to become football, you can't do that while you're dribbling the ball down the court. You're going to have to go to the people who run the basketball association, the crowds who pay the money for the tickets for the basketball association, get the crowd to start demanding that basketball becomes like football and not paying unless it becomes like football. And guess what? Suddenly, you've got basketball that's football. But you don't do that on the court. Politics is not, in my opinion, something that you can say is good or bad. Politics reflects society. You understand? So if the political system is shit, society's pretty shit. At the end of the day, the way the country runs is decided by us. So, see what happens.
You once said that you boycotted like the Lebanese media.
That's still...
Well, why? Because they follow suit.
I believe Lebanese media is part of the cancer of this country. One of the major problems of this country. So I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. That TV only has video games connected. I don't have LBC. I don't have anything. I surround myself with friends who don't talk politics, who don't discriminate on religion, and I'm living very happily. Peacefully, happily. I'm working on myself. I'm making myself a better person. I have my views. I have my opinions. And yes, of course, we talk about it when you want to talk about it. But it's boring, man. How long are you going to talk about Jumblat? You're going to talk about Jaja, Hariri, Aoun, Hizbah. How long? How long? No, but how long? Like, they're just like 6, 7, how long?
Most of the youth in Lebanon look up to you.
It's because I'm really tall.
Do you have words of wisdom to tell the youth?
No politics, no religion, one love. That would be the only thing. If you live your life like that, you'll end up making a lot of cool friends. You'll eat a lot of great food. If you're Christian, you'll love Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? And if you're Muslim, you'll love Christmas.
No, wait, I'm Druze. I got the benefit of both.
Druze, if you're Druze, you love Ramadan and Christmas.
Yeah.
You get to eat on both days.
Exactly.
You get invited to both holidays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whenever you study, whenever you read, whenever you do something that makes you better as an individual, you're actually helping that change. It's not, change isn't opening up a Facebook page called Change.
Yeah.
Change is about doing something to make yourself different to suit a specific goal. If you want this country to become better, and you believe that the way it can become better is by you leading a life where you can be honest, then you work on yourself being a person of integrity. If you believe that to become a better country, you need to become deceitful, then you work on yourself becoming a more cunning adversary. And everybody, that's how you just work on yourself. And just by doing that, you're affecting change.
I think it's kind of hard. I mean, this project, like, we're trying to do a few things, but to really bring change, I mean, what are a few teenagers going to do against all these politicians and their thousands of followers?
No, if teenagers we speak up in the society, I guess we can make a big change.
Yeah, if we learn to only support something and only do something because we actually believe in it, and we're not doing it just because we're being told that we should believe in it, I think we could have a lot of effect, because obviously there are lots of kids and teenagers in Lebanon, and if we do something based on thinking rather than just being brainwashed into thinking it, then I think we could have a large effect, and we could possibly change Lebanon.
I have hope because before the Civil War, I saw some pictures of Lebanon, and everyone's, like, my grandparents told me how amazing it was before, and I guess that kind of gives us hope that, okay, so it was like that before. If we did it once, we could do it again.
Do you know that this area used to be the place where, a border of fighting? They used to fight here, the Muslims and the Christians, right here, this line. And now we're here together from different sects.
Yes, we live. We still laugh, go to school, and meet our friends. We're a fighting nation, always finding the island in an ocean of darkness. But this is the crucial point. We're getting used to all the problems. We dislike politics, hate leaders, feel unsafe, and still we do nothing about it. We live our lives, we go on, and yet we know that it's wrong. I believe that we can make a change. So many people in our generation are unhappy. If we all stand together, we can overcome this sick system, and we can build a country that can be called home by its youth. We are teenagers, not fighters. We don't have guns, but we have words. We can't change the past, but we can determine the future. We can start a mind revolution. Let's start today.
The streets took a kid, we can't bear every hit. The world spins and we're still stuck, standing still like an empty clock. You wanna cry? Welcome to my world. They won't stab you with the knife, they slice you with the sword. They fight with guns, we defend with words. Real pain is the reason I'm here. You'll hate what you hear, but I walk with spears in my heart and voices in my ear. Poor stay poor, rich people rule. People of authority do what they wanna do, and they teach us to obey the rules. I'm only 17, but the kid is no fool. Some have it all, some never had food. Politicians work with a mad mind, they steal and lie to get to the top, then they leave us behind. I think it's a crime. Criminals and politicians are of the same kind, stealing from the poor, and we still have to pay our fine. But again, this is life, and if it was a game, I'll be the last one to leave, cause all lost faith and I still believe. Yeah.